Okay, so some of the things you need for the stone tone block install is some thread locker from Loctite, red 271, the actual stone tone block with its grounding kit. Since it's no longer metal, you'll have to run a designated grounding line to the bridge so everything's kosher, so you don't get zapped on stage. You need a Phillip head screwdriver, soldering iron. I think this is a 15 amp, 30 amp, and some solder. That's it. That's all you need. I think this one's a 6040 Rosin core. Yep. So first step to install the block, we're going to have to remove the strings, and we're going to have to remove the bridge and take out all the saddles. I think you could just get away with taking out the inner 5, and that's where you'll see the mounting screws. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, more progress. So I got all the strings off. Give the fretboard a nice coating of oil, lemon oil. Alright, so now from here we could take off the bridge, just flip the guitar over. We got springs in the back. All we gotta do is remove the springs like so, and it'll just fall right out. See? Like magic. Take out the guitar, and you're left with a gaping hole for a cavity. And there's your bridge. That's the sustain block that we're gonna replace here. And we're gonna stick this guy on it. Check that out. Alright, so to remove the saddles here, we're gonna have to remove that screw. That's it. So another thing to keep in mind with these saddles is to keep them in order, because each saddle has a different height, and that's to compensate for the neck radius. All right, so I took out the B, so I'll make sure to keep that in order over there. And then when I take this one off, I'll make sure to pair them up together so I know where they belong. Or you can label them with a sharpie in the back. You know, just put a mark in here or something like 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever string position, like E, B, G, D, E, A. You know. So yeah, just keep in mind to keep these in order. Okay, we got all the saddles removed. Now we see the mounting screws here. There should be 3 of them. And then just remove that and carefully remove the sustain block and the leaf spring. Another thing to keep in mind, they will fit the same Allen wrench for your locking nut. Okay, so what I said about just removing the middle 5, I actually lied. The spring leaf is always in pressure. It's always gotta be flat with the surface, so notice here. It was under pressure before, so when I removed the mounting screws, I relieve that pressure, and I gotta remove all the saddles in order for this leaf spring to sit flush with the bridge. Alright, so I removed the locking screws that holds the tone block in place. We should be able to remove it like so, and we remove the bushing along with it, and we're going to keep the leaf spring for the fine tuners in place. And what to do with this? I don't know, sell it. You probably get 25 bucks out of it. It's a better material than the Floyd Special Series, I tell you that much. Got some weight to it too. So you got the leaf spring on there, line it up with the holes. This is the grounding kit for the stone tone rock block, and make sure that the skinnier side is facing the leaf spring, just like that. Okay. And then when you mount the stone tone for the Pro Series bridges, make sure the bevel here is facing the leaf spring. Alright, and the logo is facing the neck. Another thing I noticed, check out the mounting screws for the stone tone. They are way longer compared to the original. So the transfer of energy from the string to the bridge is going to resonate a lot more evenly with the stone tone than the stock. So I have the block mounted, but I didn't add the thread locker yet, so I just wanted to make sure everything was aligned. So when I add the thread locker, I essentially take out one screw at a time and I add one droplet into the hole, and then I refasten it. Don't torque it, don't crank it, because it is stone. Too much tension will crack it. So just hand tighten it until the screw stops spinning, and then maybe give it like one more nudge. But keep it even pressured with all three mounting screws. Alright, so once you add the thread locker, let it sit for maybe 2 hours. But I like to let it sit for like maybe 24 hours before I start really playing it. That way it's nice and solid, nothing's moist in there, it's, you know, it's being held together, and it's nice and dry, hopefully. But yeah, it's an easy install. So when you install the bridge back into the guitar, you're going to take this and I solder it onto the spring claw on the back of the guitar. You could solder it onto your volume pots, but I like soldering it onto the spring claw. Okay, so a little prep before applying the Loctite. You gotta shake it, right? Shake it well and then apply it. So I'm just gonna put maybe 2 beads, 1 bead, it's probably enough. So, and this is how it looks all installed. And it should look just like that. And last but not least, we run the ground line from the stone tone. I tucked it underneath here on the side on the last spring up top, and I just solder on top of the other ground. That's it.